Boys, tomatosaucin here, and tonight I have an absolute banger of a video for you. I hope you're ready for this. If you love Warrior in Dragonflight right now, today, yes, absolutely 10.0.5, I have the most slept on, unplayed, and most fun build for Arena on a Warrior, period, the end. Boys, you're looking at him right here, Duelist Tomato God X, coming at you live with no spear gameplay. We've shifted the meta entirely, and we're tearing through the solo shuffle bracket. That's right, guys. We broke 2100 tonight. We were, messing around with the spear, throwing that goofy thing around, That's not Arms Warrior gameplay. It's not what we do. We don't throw spears. What are we, survival hunters? Absolutely not. So, what I did was, I went back to the grindstone. I put my nose directly on that grindstone, and I said, hey, grindstone, I got to figure out a better build for Arms Warrior today. I'm actually realizing I didn't transmog my leg plates. Hold on. We got to fix this. Sickest transmog in the game, by the way. Sickest transmog in the game. Absolutely. All right. So, I went to the grindstone, right? I had my nose to it, and I said, Mr. Grindstone, how are we going to get away from the spear on an Arms Warrior? It's impossible. All the videos say you got to take the spear in PvP. You can't play a different specialization of Arms Warrior. Well, here's what I'm going to tell you, folks. You absolutely can, okay? We're going to go over some gearing, right? It's very similar to the spear gearing, but I'm going to show you something I didn't show you in my last video, right? What we're focusing on with this Arms Warrior build is bleed damage. And it's the most ridiculous bleed damage that you will ever put out in Arena. You are a feral druid and an assassination rogue on steroids because you're an Arms Warrior. So you're absolutely huge. You're blown away at how big you are, right? We're going to take this all the way to legend status 100%. Okay. First, let's get into the gear before I get onto the talents. Now, if you're very quick with your mouse, you can pause the video where I just was. You can skip the rest of the whole video and you'll get the talents. But if you watch the rest of the video, right, interact with the channel, leave a comment, leave a like, subscribe to the video, right, do all that stuff. I'm going to put this video, the build, in the description of the video. All right, let's get to the gearing. Now, all of my gear is exactly the same as my last Arms Warrior video, except now we have some more tier pieces because once again, right, we were able to make a tier piece today, so I'm almost at 4-piece, boys. Wait till we're at 4-piece and we're putting out 5% more critical strike damage, more damage and critical strike chance. I'm going to get 5% of all the good stuff. That's just going to feed the bleeds. But here's what I want to show you. Because we're a bleed-focused Arm Warrior build, this helmet is a must-craft. If you haven't crafted this helmet yet, you're sleeping on it, and you shouldn't sleep on it. Here's why. This bleed on this helmet scales with our Arms Warrior bleed talents. I'm not 100% on that. I didn't do the math, but it does a ton of damage. It does like 7 to 10% of my damage in every arena, because here's what happens. I'm a warrior. These guys think I'm soft, and they want to go me. But I'm out here absolutely cracking. And if it's a melee cleave and they're both on me, I'm going to bleed all you guys up. You guys see I have this little Thunderclap Ren macro? I'm going to let you know. All I'm doing is AoE bleeding everything around me. Let's get into the talents. Craft this helmet today if you haven't crafted it on your Arms Warrior, especially if you're going to play my bleed build. It's very close to the bleed build that I made public in beta, but here's how we're going to change it up. I'm going to go through the talents in depth in a way that I usually wouldn't want to, but I'm so hyped up and I'm so excited about this build. I just want to get you guys going with it today. If you're struggling playing the spear build, oh, I got to land my spear perfectly. Oh no, this guy had an ability that nullified my entire go. Yeah, you ain't nullifying Thunderous Roar, okay? AoE, scream, bleed damage. All your bleeds do more damage. Let's get into the class tree first. You're going to immediately see I deviate from the shattering weapons because I don't even care about immunities. let them go off. I'm going to kill you in the next go anyway. And what I'm doing by saving this talent point and saving a talent point over here in sidearm, I take Thunderclap and Blood and Thunder. Why am I taking Thunderclap and Blood and Thunder? I'm going to tell you why. Because we're going to take Rend in this build, and we're going to take bleed bonus damage in multiple locations, where I'm about to show you that as well. Thunderclap, you can use this while you're disarmed. So let's say you Colossus smash somebody, you've got a global that's free, that's going to do damage, all AoE damage to everybody. And Rend is slapping in this build. Sometimes, especially if you go into demo locks, unholy DKs, BM hunters, any class that's dumb enough to summon a pet around you, you are going to bleed their pets out and put out so much pressure, their healers are going to have no idea what to do. You're a feral druid and a demon hunter on steroids. Again, arms warriors, we're on steroids. Massive. All right. So we know about Blood and Thunder, right? Boom. We got blood in the talent name. Absolutely crazy. Now let's talk about the Thunder. And I'm not talking about Blood and Thunder. I'm talking about the Thunderous Roar. So Blood and Thunder is an aptly named talent because it enables us to go into a deeper bleed build with Thunderous Roar and the massive Uproar talent, which is going to give us more goes than you get in a spear without any way to there's no counterplay to this, right? You can't use your Fireblood racial 11 times in an arena, right? Fireblood's on 2-minute cooldown. Thunderous Roar is on a 1-minute cooldown. And then let's look at Thunderous Words. Increases the duration of Thunderous Roar's bleed effect by 2 seconds and increases the damage of all your bleed effects by 15% at all times. That sounds like a lot of bleed effects when you couple it with Blood and Thunder and you're rending all the boys up. But wait, there's more. When we travel through the Rend tree, yeah, I'm like Billy May selling a bleed build here. Boom, Bloodborne, Deep Wounds, Rend, and Thunderous Roar's bleed effects all deal 15% increased damage. Holy moly. But wait, let's go back here. The Thunderous Wounds also increases the damage of your bleed effects by 15% at all times. Remember the helmet? The helmet enchant over here? Craft this helmet, 15% more bleed damage, and it's free, boys. Now, we keep traveling down the bleed side of the tree, and we jump into Bloodletting, Deep Wounds, Rend, and Thunderous Roar's bleed effects last 6 seconds longer and have a 5% increased critical strike chance. So your bleeds are critting more, they last longer, and they're dealing 30% more damage, 15 and 15. If you can't add that up, 15 times 2, 15 plus 15, any way you slice it, that's 30% more bleed damage. Absolutely insane. Now, you couple that with Arms Warrior's normal burst, right? Avatar on a 1.5-minute cooldown, and you couple that with Blade Master's Torment, right? That gives you two Blade Storms, which is insane. You're getting all these bleeds and you're getting all these Blade Storms, right? And you couple that with the Unhinged talent. And now, one more important change. We don't drop 1 point and improve sweeping strikes. This is a trap. You don't need 6 more seconds of sweeping strikes. That's like 21 seconds of sweeping strikes. How many strikes are you going to sweep at that point? Here's where you go. You go into Strength of Arms. Overpower has 10% increased critical strike chance, and it deals 10% increased critical strike damage. And on enemies below 35% health, we're generating rage for more executes and more mortal strikes and more rends and bleeds and all the damage, boys. We are doing so much damage with this build. It's absurd. It's unheard of. It's absolutely absurdly unheard of. You have to get on board with the Arms Warrior bleed build today, unless you like whipping spears like, a complete, beta male at that point. Sigma males run bleeds, beta males run spears, and alpha males watch our videos. That's what we got going on today in Arms Warrior Paradise. That's what this is. It's Arms Warrior Paradise, because I'm going to lift all you guys out of the 1,200 to 1,400 brackets, take you right up the duelist with me, then we're all going legend together. So, boys, this is the bleed build. It's absolutely crazy. The damage is absurd. If they are silly enough to stack on top of you, lights out. That's it. That's it. They're going to sleep. Now, caster lobbies. what I do with caster lobbies, I get rid of disarm and I go to Storm of Destruction so that I can be a destructing force just a little bit more, right? More Blade Storms, more double Mortal Strikes coming out with the Unhinged Legendary, and you're just an absolute cracker barrel firecracker of a spark shooting off into outer space. It's the wildest, most damage-producing build in this game for Arms Warrior right now. No counterplay to the goes, and if you recall, right? Uproar. Thunderous Roar's cooldown's reduced by 30 seconds. Let me tell you about the goes. When you play the spear, right? Woo! Minute and a half every time, right? No cooldown reduction here. That means less goes over the course of an arena. In a meta where healers are already falling behind, why would you use an ability that is only up every minute and a half when really with our cooldown reduction that we have, with our cooldown reduction that we have in our Colossus Smash, right? Colossus, this is in for the kill. Anger Management, right? So Anger Management is giving us cooldown reduction on Colossus Smash for every 20 rage that we spend. We're bleeding targets. We're dumping rage in this build. Ignore pain, bleeds, mortal striking like crazy, building that rage back up with overpowers. So you're doing all of this craziness. You're actually having a Colossus Smash go every 30 seconds, which lines up with Thunderous Roar, Blade Storm, your avatar, etc. It honestly feels like you always have a go in this build. And I'm going to tell you how I run my go. You know what we're going to do? We're going to fly down to the target dummy together. I'm going to show you what I do for my first go. It's only going to take 1 minute here. Stay with me, folks. If you are enjoying Arms Warrior and Dragonflight, I am about to make it much more enjoyable for you. I know I'm excited, but this is a very exciting time when I can come back with an incredible bleed build for the crew. All right, so here's what we got going on. We're going to charge in. Usually I'll run my mount up and start overpowering, but why not? Let's Warbringer charge in on this target dummy. So we're going to charge in, sweeping strikes, as we're going to pretend there's two guys here. Sweeping stripes, Colossus Smash, Thunderous Roar. Notice I don't hit Avatar and Blade Storm. Then we're going to go into Blade Storm. This first go is going to get walls like crazy. We're going to add Rend in there too. So, Warbringer, Overpower, 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 Rend, boom. Now we got our bleed up. Sweeping strikes, Colossus Smash, Thunderous Roar, into a Blade Storm. We are just smashing at this point. There's walls going up. People are freaking out. We're mortal striking, going nuts. And now you're going to see how fast will we get our Colossus Smash back off cooldown for our big avatar go, right? We are just trying to dump any rage that we can. You notice I used Ignore Pain there. I do this just to get the CDR. We want to get it down to 30 seconds. You can see my Dragon cooldown's at 31. Colossus Smash is up. Boom. We Colossus Smash again. Go into Avatar with the Blade Storm. We're cracking. Come out with a fat Mortal Strike into Overpowers, into Mortal Strikes, into Executes. Maybe another Blade Storm for good measure because we were against the caster cleave. So we had Blade Storm on a 1 minute cooldown. I think you can see and understand why this build is so absurd. You can see we were doing 40,000 DPS by spreading out our damage, sustain, single target. Now, you get people that are dumb enough to stack on you in this build, and you're just blasting 60, 70,000 DPS, and they're melting. Cooldowns are being popped. You're trading walls. Disc priests are double pain suppressing the same person because they're freaking out in solo shuffle, throwing mind games at you. You spell reflect it right back to them. Boys, this is the bleed build. The build is in the comments. If you're playing an Arms Warrior and you're feeling a little hard stuck, drop the spear. Try out my bleed build. I made this in beta and I brought it back for the solo shuffle climb. We're going all the way to legend with this, folks. Tomatosaucin out. Arms Warrior, crazy bleeds are absolutely in. Have a great night, guys.